The person I'm going to tell y'all about today, I know a lot of you guys know who this is. But for those who don't, meet Nat Turner. And America didn't just execute him, they desecrated him. They ripped him apart piece by piece until he wasn't a man anymore. Just a warning to every enslaved black soul who ever dared to dream about freedom. Nat Turner was born in chains in 1800 Virginia. But from the moment he drew his first breath, this country decided that he wasn't human. But Nat was different. He believed he was chosen. On August 21st, 1831, he took that belief and turned it into fire. He and his brothers in bondage, they rose up. They fought with axes, knives, with their bare hands. And in 2 days, more than 50 white men, women, and children were dead. It was bloody. It was deliberate. It was the nightmare the South prayed would never come true. Enslaved people fighting back, making their suffering visible, undeniable. But rebellions don't get to last in America. The militia came down with a fury. In their retaliation, they murdered not just rebels, but at least 200 black men, women, and children. 200 slaughtered for daring to breathe the same air as Nat Turner. And when they finally caught him, they wanted more than death. They wanted destruction. They hanged him, but they didn't stop there. They skinned him, turned his flesh into leather purses. They boiled his body down into grease. They passed his bones around like souvenirs. They held his skull on a shelf like a trophy. Can you even imagine the level of hatred it takes, the coldness, to carve up a man's body and wear it like fashion, to cook down his flesh into oil, to pass his bones like heirlooms at a family table? That is America. That is what this country did to a man who dared to say, "I will not die enslaved." They thought mutilating Nat Turner would erase him, that if they scattered his body, they could scatter his story. But they failed, because here we are nearly 2 centuries later, still saying his name, still telling the truth that they tried to bury in grease and bone. So when you think of Nat Turner, don't just remember the rebellion, right? Remember what they did. Remember the mutilation. Remember the purse, the skull, the bones, the grease. Remember how far America went to make Black freedom terrifying. And then let yourself feel it. Because if one enslaved man with nothing but faith and fire could scare them into this kind of savagery, imagine the power we still hold when we stand together. Say his name, Nat Turner.